RadioCalusa.com. It's time for an episode of The Backpage, a weekly podcast where you'll discover your favorite hot topics in the greater Colusa County area. Heck, you might even hear an opinion or two.
Let's see. Ken and Haley are still on vacation, but here I am back in the studio as always. And this week, there's a familiar voice returning to the airwaves. You may like it or not, and if not, I don't really care.
Neither do I.
Serena Carlsen from Arbuckle.
Yay!
Yay!
Hello. And we have our honorary guest.
My laptop. And our honorary guest, our peanut gallery over here.
Also known as my husband, who never talks. He just sits there.
There's a microphone. He could, but
why? He only talks when he has something to say.
How was your 4th of July?
Hot. How was yours?
It was actually pretty good. Other than the fireworks, the loads of illegal fireworks, it was actually good. I gave my dog a well-needed bath, trimmed her, and because, with the fireworks, she is just chewing on herself and there's bald spots over the place. And I thought, it'll be a good idea. I'll trim her so that way she doesn't have that much to pull on. Now she looks like a spotted dog with all the missing hair that she has all over the place. And only one of those spots was from me shaving and I got a little too close.
Yes, because now she's just going to chew at the fur that she has left.
But actually, I've noticed she's actually chewed less since getting a haircut. So
our dog, who knew? We just had to put some clothes on her, and now she doesn't really chew.
Oh, well, I don't think Bailey would really like putting clothes on. I just don't see her as one of those dogs that would. That might be try. I tried that. What is it? Vest one time.
Oh, like the calming vest. Yeah.
And it was an off-brand one. It wasn't the one. It was $149. It was $60 at Walmart. But still,
that's where you went wrong. Apparently, you went to Walmart.
It still wasn't even helpful. It didn't calm her. She just stayed lower to the ground and still barked.
Well, you should have given her a calm shot, and then apparently,
I'm hesitant about the CBD stuff for dogs.
Well, they have some that's made for dogs, but I don't know what's different about it.
I don't know about
animals
Bailey.
In general.
Will she be the type of dog that you give it and she becomes like a stoner dog? Or will she be one of those, because she's a border collie?
Yeah.
Or is she going to be like in a hyper up, like some people with, actual real marijuana and stuff. Some people it calms them out. They're lazy. There's some people, man, they could fly to the moon and back.
She acts like she's on like cocaine or something. Vroom, vroom, vroom.
Like a cat on catnip.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. But cocaine apparently was more interesting. But I have discovered our dog, she doesn't seem to mind. So your
cat, you said, doesn't
no, the dog. The cat does not like.
Oh yeah, I don't think any cats do.
No.
Well, when those freaking fireworks over there shooting off the M80s or whatever in the hell, it's like Jiminy crickets. And I'm sorry, I think our police department does a great job. Not on the 4th of July. They sucked on the 4th of July.
Yes, they did. They were like right in the alley behind where we were.
Oh, yeah.
And they were letting them off 1 block from us, and they just sat there.
We had, security cameras. We see neighbors go out in the middle of the street, shoot it off, walk out, pick up the thing, walking back to the car, and this cop car goes right behind them. Like,
did they just wave at them like, "Oh, hello,
I have no
let me know
idea.
when you let off the next one.
And it's
I want to watch."
Like, are you serious? You're not going to stop and whatever. I have a problem with the big ones because, one, they're a disturbance. I don't care how you like it. It's a disturbance. If you want to do that, go to the cities, go to Colusa where they started a fire because that's what happens.
Oh, I missed that. Uh-huh.
Oh, it's still going on. There's a big fire. So when you're leaving town, if you see that orange glow towards the river, that's not because the river is radioactive. That's because it's on fire.
But I think it might be radioactive. News at 11. This just in.
But yeah, and then of course the city's trying to blame it on some illegals, but almost every person that we've talked to who was out there was like, no, that was caused from the city's fireworks, which were put on by legitimate professionals.
And they were in the river letting them off, correct?
On the other side of the river, but yeah, they weren't actually in the river, but
Well, not really standing there. I thought it assumed on a boat or something.
Light off a firework in the middle of water would be kind of hard.
I don't really know how they do it. Thanks for making me feel so stupid.
You're welcome. I did my deed for the day.
Insert Oxford comma here.
Yes, I'm wearing a t-shirt that says Oxford Comma Appreciation Society. Had to explain what an Oxford comma was. I actually had to Google it because I didn't know the true definition. I just know how to use it.
Well, you will probably have to explain it again for all of our listeners.
Nah, they can Google it themselves.
Yes, I agree with you on that one.
So did you do anything fun for 4th of July or anything like that?
So we went to my niece's house, which we've done the last few years. It was really very nice. It was relaxing. The kids had the best time. She had borrowed a water slide.
Ooh.
We'll pretend that there's not a drought, but it was really tall. And we just kept saying, well, they had to move it because of where it was. And then it got a little bit closer to the alley, in the alley there is a telephone pole. Is it a telephone pole?
Oh, cool.
Like
so
a line.
It was a shocking
it could have been
water slide.
And one of the boys would have likely just swung from it like a monkey or something. So I'm glad that they didn't put it, 2 feet back or something, because that could have been bad.
Considering the height, it probably was just like a telephone line or Comcast.
Yeah, I'm sure you're probably right. It was pretty tall. And I don't think there are electric lines there. I mean, geez. I did get my hair done while I was gone. It's a little bit lighter, so my blonde roots might be showing. Just saying.
It's really taking effect.
I think so.
You guys didn't go out to the 4th of July thing here in Calusa? Did you go check it out? Eat some watermelon?
We did not. I really was thinking about stepping in the watermelon and doing the watermelon steppy
Doesn't that
thing.
Sound like a little gross.
Yeah, it did. It did.
I mean, go stomp in watermelon that people have been stomping around in. And I mean, sounds like what is that called? Athlete's foot central or something.
Happen. Yeah, no.
Some ringworm or whatever.
And I wasn't quite sure how those watermelon tacos and watermelon grilled cheeses were going to work.
Didn't show up. They had vendors that didn't show up. So
I was thinking I hadn't heard anything of them. And so maybe they weren't good. And that's why nobody was talking about them.
There really wasn't much going on. So, some people kind of enjoyed it. And most of the time people came out for the fireworks. So
did you go?
I did not. Like I said, I stayed home, had barbecue, shaved my dog.
Don't forget that you bathed him. That was very, very important.
Yes,
really appreciated.
One thing I was surprised with this hot weather, I did not find one flea on her. Right. So I was actually very shocked because, with all of which she was itching and everything, figured as much there would be some fleas, but I didn't see anything.
I haven't seen a flea yet this season.
Knock on wood.
Oh, no, we have lots and lots of crickets, apparently.
Yeah.
And
I've been kind of worried about the ticks too, because
the pest guy didn't say anything about that. He was talking about crickets and weevils. Apparently they're on the rise.
What about all these not only not crickets but the cockroaches?
Oh my gosh!
Holy moly! I've never seen so many cockroaches around. And it's not just like, it's like at first, like, what the heck's going on? I know we have a neighbor a couple blocks down that has been doing some cleaning up around their property, long overdue. And so it might be stirring up some stuff, but everywhere. I mean, you go into a place out here in front of the building, they're all in the streets and at night and whatnot. And it's like, holy moly.
And they're not the little ones either.
No, those things are massive.
They're big. And I don't like cockroaches. I have a thing for cockroaches and black widows. Cockroaches, ugh. But,
cockroaches I can stand. Black widows, I'll burn the house down.
Yeah, I don't know well, I do know what it is, but neither one of them. I do not like them. I can't stand them. I could probably kill or maim anything else, but do not throw a cockroach at me.
Oh,
don't do it.
Don't do this jar of cockroaches over here, I'm not supposed to throw at you?
No. Mm-mm.
Sorry, Shane, she won't let me.
In fact, I use cockroach in the place of like asshole a lot.
Are you cockroach?
I do. Haven't you ever noticed?
No.
Well,
I'll have to pay attention more often.
Apparently, I've never tried to call you a cockroach.
At least I'll know better.
It's like, knock it off, you cockroach.
No, I always get heck for always like moving things around and cleaning because of black widows. I hate black widows.
Oh.
And I've had too many experiences with them. Never been bit by one, knock on wood, but it's just, I do not like those things, even though your chances of getting bit by one is very low. But I mean, I go as far as I don't even have items underneath my bed. But that's a whole nother story. I mean, because my mom said that if you have items underneath your bed, that's more kindling. So when the house catches on fire, it burns you up.
Oh,
little did she know, she instilled a phobia in me. And it was funny because when I got older and I had my own place at the time, and she's like, wow, you keep your underneath your bed clean. And I told her, I said, well, I don't want to burn up in the middle of the night. She's like, who told you that? And I went, you did? She's like, oh,
you're
sorry.
right. I imagine that somebody probably told her that.
Probably. Or, it was a good method to help keep us from throwing stuff underneath the bed as a kid. We actually put things away. And
kids often do, just throw it under their bed, in the closet,
at
wherever.
most, I have one tiny box underneath the bed. And if I have shoes or anything, they're just at the edge. Nothing goes past.
Are you sure there are no black widows in that one tiny box?
I move every once in a while, so no.
They're in there. They're just living in there waiting.
Even with shoes and stuff, always make sure there's something stuffed in them. So that way, no.
I know. I'm always worried there's going to be some spider or something.
I've had one once. And after that, there was like, nope, never again.
Leave some socks or
newspapers with something in there. Always.
Newspaper. You have a little bit of that around. You can use that.
Just a tiny bit.
Apparently, newspapers are good for keeping moles or something.
Oh, well, no. They use it to smoke out the moles or to burn them out and whatnot, so then they can go pew.
You put it in there and then I wish you could see the it's not sound effects. What do you call that?
The hand motion.
Visual. Yes, the hand motion.
But yeah, no, it is good for different things. Like some people do use it for gardening, for the weeds, ground cover, and stuff like that. So they're going, the weeds don't come up through, because it does help. And also, like you're saying, gophers.
Maybe it was a squirrels, moles, something. Whatever
they
we
make
have
a little
around
hole,
there.
they stuff it in there, they light it on, and it smokes them out, and then they, pew.
Well, he didn't say anything about lighting the newspaper on fire. He got it wet, because if you just put the dirt back in there, then they can dig out real easy. But apparently it's harder for them to get out of the paper.
Pew.
Oh my gosh, we really have got to put a picture of you doing that next to this one. It's going to be the little thumbnail or whatever you call that. the album
image.
cover. Yeah, the image.
So, a couple of, just kind of going over some of the other things that's gone on here lately. We had the annual fly-in. Have you ever heard of the event or been to the event?
No, but does it always happen during the same time? Because I'm probably always in Oregon during the time that the annual fly-in comes in.
I think it's always in July.
Fly-in, not fry-in.
Hey, fry-in would actually pretty good.
I agree.
Fried chicken.
Yeah. Everything fried like the fair.
They have the Aviation Society. They come out and they bring their members and they have a breakfast, and they have all kinds of the planes out there that come from all around the North State. I think even some come from Oregon or Washington.
Oh.
Heck, I mean, you could have probably hitched a ride there or home.
Ooh, what a good idea that would be. We should really look into that for next year.
Sometimes there's motorcycles out there. There might be a little tiny car show or something. Some people show up. It's kind of neat. It's been going on for 25 years.
What, really?
Yeah. Well, for the most part, it's one of those events, because it's so hot, that as soon as it starts warming up, they get through and they get the event done and over with.
Right.
And it's really early in the morning. 7 o'clock is when it starts, and everybody's gone about 9:30, 10.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
So when people are starting to get up to go out to go do things, it's kind of already over. The public is invited out to this event, and they get to browse around, see the planes. There's some really unique ones. Some have some history. There are some that have, what are they called? Experimental planes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then there's,
I don't see any pictures of those experimental planes.
I think they were all kind of gone, because the ones that were kind of left behind are the bigger ones that kind of like been in World War II or have other kinds
Which makes sense.
Other stuff. Because like there's one that was a 1963 Cessna Centron.
Oh, I see that right there. Mm-hmm. That was piloted by Craig Timsley.
1941 N3N World War II trainer.
Oh.
Called the Yellow Pearl. It was the oldest plane at the show.
Well, that's cool. But I see it says over here that there was about 35 planes and some Harley Davidson trike motorcycles and vintage automobile.
Yeah, there's usually, half a dozen planes, sometimes more, depending on what years it is. And they usually have a bunch of raffles, and not only, like I said, the breakfast. Oh, did you go to the Grimes breakfast?
No, I always forget about that.
Oh, man.
I don't know why. Every time I try to remind myself, I've set myself a reminder on my phone, and for whatever reason, I always forget.
Does she set a reminder on the phone? Shane's shaking his head no.
He doesn't know. He's already up and out of bed by then. You'd think he could remind me. But did you go as your...
I did.
Oh, well, then you would know that I wasn't
my
there.
My dad and Haley went. And we met our two friends, Dave Harbison and Buck. I'm sorry, I forgot your last name. I can't remember. And they sat there.
How many people could there be named Buck? I'm sure.
They're really going to enjoy their little shout out on the show.
That's right.
There are two fans that showed up, and we sat there and talked for a bit. It was like, wow, we got fans. Albeit two. Did you
say that on the thing?
On what?
On the podcast, and I missed it? Talking about the breakfast?
Last week? Yeah. Or it would have been July 1st. It was our last episode. And we did. We talked about it.
No, I listened to the Father's Day one. That's the one I listened to today because I was that behind.
Wow, you're really behind.
So I just listened to the last one that I was already listening to.
We're going to end this show because what's else to talk about? Because you're way behind.
Dude, I was on vacation. Dude, I never call you dude. I don't even use that. Why did I even say dude?
And then also in Arbuckle, they had the Children's Fair.
Oh,
that was
yes,
right across from your place there.
I wasn't there.
The LaVanche Hirsch Park. What are these people going on vacations for? I mean, I had to cover for everybody while they're on vacation. So that was my vacation, was working.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, you're not. Truly, you're not.
Maybe not because I got to go on vacation. But I do think that you work very hard and you deserve a vacation.
Mm-hmm. So there was the
Do you hear this thing?
The family fair was right across, our children's fair was right across there at LaVanche Hirsch Park. They had a bunch of activities and it was kind of cool. They had some books and some activities for the kids, and a couple dozen kids showed up.
My kids are a little old for that.
I think Ellen would enjoy this immensely, sitting there searching for bones and fossils in that sandbox.
Well, it does look like a lot of fun. Cecily and these two children look like they're really enjoying it.
And there was bongos, and I think there was even a bubble station. I mean, come on.
I would have liked the bubble station. Did you play with the bubbles?
No, Susan was out there. I was watching The Office.
Oh, okay.
Hey, okay.
So yes, again, you were working.
So I planned it perfect.
What a shock.
I drove to The Office to go watch The Office, and Susan drove to Arbuckle to go cover it. This week, the Health and Human Services had a little bit of igniting experience. Their solar panel caught on fire.
At the children's fair?
No, this was at the Health and Human Services here in Colusa, across from the hospital.
Oh.
The welfare department, it's also known as.
I see right here, yes.
And one of the new buildings that they had put in, they put a solar installation, and unfortunately, something went wrong, and poof. Thankfully, the fire department arrived on time, and it was just contained to the panels or the box or whatever it was there, and they were able to put it out quickly.
Well, is that like a mechanical failure? What do you call that?
It could be multiple things because the panels themselves don't necessarily catch on fire. It has to be an electrical, so there could have been a short somewhere. Could have been a wrong installation. It could have been multiple different. It could have been just a failure in the way that, they were manufactured. It was contained to just the panels. So,
well, that's terrific because we would not want to lose any more buildings. But look, I would just really like to draw some attention over here to this wonderful ad.
Which one is that? The
down to the bottom of Pansy on the far left.
Oh,
bottom.
The home of the week.
Oh, come on now.
Osco Geyer?
Definitely Ace Hardware. And Dave's Auto Service.
Or their blended Red Bulls at Rise and Grind.
Yes, that's the one.
Selfless promotion.
Shameless plug. But I would also like to point out how nice the ad is because, I know somebody that will hook me up with some great ads.
Ooh.
Gee, it couldn't be you at all. You design them, you put them in there. They look so great.
Thing, since you're talking about that, we have our Kids Scoop page, and we're looking for sponsors for that to continue for this next year. So anyone is interested, we need sponsors. Call us, contact me.
And while you do that, you can get home or mail delivery. It's right in here as well.
Speaking of that, one of the programs we are going to be working with here in the future is the Arbuckle Fire Department. We're going to be working with them on what we're going to be calling Number Colusa County. being a newspaper delivery person, finding people's homes and their addresses is absolutely the worst thing in this community. Every town. Some people, they say, oh, I have the house numbers on my home. Can you see them from the road at 2 a.m?
No.
90% of the time, not. I mean, unless you're out there with the flashlight shining on the house trying to find it. Is it on the side of the garage doors? Is it near the door? Is it on the corner of the house? Oh, wait, no, they stuck it up on the top part of the roof. There's no unified place to put the numbers.
Absolutely.
Sometimes the numbers are 2 inches tall. Sometimes, they are the nice and big, but then they're painted the same color as the house, which then makes it harder to see. Some of the newer homes, it's kind of nice because they have those lidded ones, but then the bulbs go out on some of those. But at least the number is always going to be in the same place.
Yes, I agree that in those newer sections there.
Yeah. And
I was needing to find one there today.
We're going to be working with the fire department on that. If somebody subscribes to the paper, any subscriber, they could order house numbers from us, which is going to be provided from the Arbuckle Fire Department. They make reflective house numbers. And so it's a little blue plaque.
Oh, yeah.
And it has the house numbers. You see them probably in the countries and stuff. But you know what? It shouldn't be just reserved for the places in the country. If you live in town, you should definitely get one of those and have them somewhere in your yard where it can be seen because, it'd be nice for us to get your paper to the right home. But at 2 a.m., you're having a heart attack and then the fire department can't find your house because it's not numbered correctly. And I know a lot of people sit there and they think, wow, I've lived here all my life. Everybody knows me, but not everybody on the fire department knows you.
Right.
So many new, people on the team. There's different people on the EMS because it may not be just the fire department. What if the ambulance gets there before the fire department does? Now they can't find it.
Right.
So there's been times that they have driven around a couple of blocks trying to find an address.
Mm-hmm.
Then finally, okay, well, if it's this, okay, is this, it must be this place, and just kind of guessing as quick as they can to get to the house.
I have a longtime friend that lived across the street from the elementary school. And in fact, I think that number is still there because one of her children has seizures. Well, she had them off, but you couldn't see her number. And so she worked with Casey and Casey put the number on there. And that's been so many years ago that she's, in her 20s now. So that's been a long time ago. She doesn't live in the area anymore, but it was very helpful. And we had a long discussion about that so that they could find them easily to be able to get her the help that she needed.
Because, sometimes it's like, oh, well, turn on your porch light. Well, sometimes porch lights go out. Sometimes you forget. Sometimes, the bugs can accumulate over the top of them and it dims down the light and I can't see. Having an experience as a newspaper delivery person and trying to find some of these homes, I actually had someone come in today. And they were talking about, because we have a new delivery person for one of the routes and she hadn't got her paper. And I'm like, well, I tried to tell the delivery person where your house was because they expressed that they couldn't find your address. And it's like, where is your home number on? Oh, it's on the side of the house. Okay, well, obviously they can't see it. So it's not in a lidded place. Oh, well, it's also the number is on this, the sidewalk where the street is, within on the curb or whatever.
Is there a car there?
That was the thing is like, well, sometimes if there's a car parked there and she goes, oh yeah, probably my car. And it's like, if it's parked in front of it, they can't see it. And I mean, they're kind of unsightly. Number of things are bright blue, they're reflective, but ultimately, if it saves someone's life,
exactly,
it gets you your Amazon package or gets you your newspaper delivered.
That's all you're worried about.
All
What's
you're worried about
to your home.
And because I mean, even out in the country, they'll have mailboxes that won't have any addresses on them. I'm like, how does the post office even know what the numbers are?
I've seen it sometimes where they don't even have the number and they just have the name on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it'll be a name of somebody who owned the house 3 decades ago.
Yes. Yes. Now, what I think is important is that I remember during this same time that they maybe tried to do this before or something went around, there were people walking around telling you that they were working with the fire department and they wanted to spray your curb.
Yeah.
So they were trying to charge for that. I would just think that we should make it clear that that is in no way related to what you're
nowhere
talking about.
Near. This is something completely different. It's a metal house number. It comes on a metal plate. It's bright blue.
Almost like a street sign.
Sure, almost like a street sign. Exactly. And then they put the white reflective numbers on there. So they're all custom. So if you have, house numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, they're double-sided or single-sided. And then you can hang them, on a wall, on a pole, anything where it would be, easy for you to do. And it helps get out. I've heard those other people, because the customer that came in today was talking about those people. Sometimes they are legitimate, like the Boy Scouts or whatever. But, anytime anybody's going door to door, I always question them. I mean, there's no reason why you should be going door to door in these days. And if they're going to do that, at least let everybody know ahead of time. Hey, we're going to be in your area.
And maybe they would say that, and then possibly, the street sweeper might come along and clean the, if there's a street sweeper in your area that comes regularly.
Yeah.
Does that happen anywhere in Colusa County?
During election year.
Oh, yeah.
That's what my grandmother always said. You always see the street sweeper during election year because they're up for re-election. Yes. So if you got a clean street, you're going to vote for them. No, I don't know. That's just what's her thing. But they go by every once in a while. I don't think it's a regular thing.
No, because they've come to Arbuckle, but there really is no rhyme or reason. And there's always, you can see that they have to drive around the cars.
And that's the other thing. It's like, let people know you're going to come so then maybe they can move their cars.
Right.
So that way they don't have to do that. And I don't know. I guess they would kind of do it maybe in the August, maybe before any kind of quote rainstorm. So that way we clear out. But we don't have a whole lot of trees or anything like that. So I don't know.
The street sweeper will come in October prior to the car show.
The car show. Oh, yeah. Yes. Well, that's downtown usually.
Right. But they put the little signs out, letting you know, don't park here and da-da-da-da-da. And so at least the street gets clean, actually gets clean.
So you'll be seeing some details soon about this program of Number Colusa County, because we want to work with the Arbuckle Fire Department on that. And I do know that Williams Fire Department used to do something similar. I'm not quite sure if they still do, and maybe all the departments do it. So if you're interested in doing it yourself or going out and, getting your own number, visit your local fire department, ask, or, go to Home Depot or our local hardware stores and get some actual home numbers.
Great idea.
Because, save a life.
I agree. And where would I find this information?
It'll be in the paper soon.
Okay. In what section, sir?
In one of the pages.
Okay. The paper is always so packed full of information that I want to make sure that I can just turn
I'm sure we'll make it nice and big.
The arrest records.
I need to do a photo shoot with Casey, get him out and doing some Vogue shots.
Oh, I bet that he would love that. And he'll probably, wear his tutu or something for you to get that Vogue shot. You're welcome, Casey.
You're welcome, Casey.
Never seen him wear a tutu, but you just never know.
So I think we kind of talked briefly about it, but of course, right now we're in a drought. People, we're in a drought.
And the state is asking for 15% water reduction.
Reduce your water. Don't turn on your sprinklers all the time. Whatever you're doing, kind of reduce your water, because we are in a dire situation. It may not seem like it, but any day you may turn on the faucet and there may not be water there.
Right. And we don't want that to happen.
No.
So turn the water off while you're brushing your teeth.
And if you're going to wash your car, do so with a spray nozzle. Don't let the water run down the street. I would maybe suggest, if you could wash your car, do it on top of your lawn, so then you water your lawn at the same time. Or go to a car wash. I know some people don't like going to car washes, but they're usually recirculated water. It's water that's been cleaned, reused in the same pot, and it just keeps getting used over and over, and it's just, replenished when it starts getting low. Most of the car washes around here are $4 to $8. You can go to the hand washing car wash, which is the same exact. It's still kind of a recirculating water type situation.
Very reasonable.
And again, a couple bucks to, I don't know, when I wash my car at the hand washing station, I spend about $10. So it's cheaper for me to go to the automatic one.
Yes. And it's a lot less work too. So I recommend the automatic one.
You just sit in a car and pretend like you ran over a unicorn or something like that as it sprays the colors.
Yes. And the kids love it too. So, it's good fun for the whole family. Who needs to go to the movies when you can get your car washed?
When you're talking about, laundry and stuff, I think most appliances now are kind of water saving. So the whole, unless you're washing one towel every time, then maybe not do that.
Right. I agree with you.
I think most of them are pretty water saving.
We haven't had ours very long, and I think
even the dishwashers, they kind of sense the load and how dirty the water is, and so kind of cut back on the water. But like you said, brushing your teeth, turn off the water in between, and just try to conserve just a tiny bit.
And don't water your lawn every day. It doesn't need to be watered every day.
It doesn't need, listen.
Listen,
doesn't
Linda,
need to be watered.
It doesn't need to be watered every day.
It's fine. Just think about it. If you don't water it every day, you won't
don't
have to mow it every week.
Even if you have a riding lawnmower and it's so much fun, you don't have to do it.
If you have that much grass, you definitely shouldn't be watering every day.
Exactly. Just pretend it's metered and you don't want to pay for it.
Well, and some like our Calusa and Williams, they do have meters. They're Arbuckle, Maxwell, I think Grimes don't have meters, which we will soon. And that is coming.
How soon is soon? That's what I want to know.
I heard, this was a couple of years ago, that they were working on a grant or something in Arbuckle to purchase the equipment. And then they were going to put it in, but kind of like do it in stages of certain.
Oh, I did hear that. Yeah.
Certain services will be, but all the new houses are all on meters.
They are set up for it.
They're already set up. Yeah.
But they don't get charged metered water, right? They just get charged a flat rate.
They're
like
flat
us,
rate. Yeah. I think they're all flat rate. Arbuckle water. It's amazing how cheap it is.
It is. And it did go up, but it's still
cheap. I lived in Williams, and what I pay every 3 months was 1 month's worth of water. Yeah.
Well, and the water is so much better in Williams,
and
right?
that was water and sewer. I have to include, which ours is water and sewer.
Yeah. Well, they had to pay to maintain that very nice new wastewater treatment plant.
Yeah.
It's not that new anymore. But
no.
Still.
Well, and they have to do some improvements to it. And so they have to be increasing the fees over the next several years. So I think every year we get 2 increases, I believe, or it's 1 increase until it reaches a certain amount. So then they can qualify for a grant or whatever, a loan, I think of what it was. So that way they can completely redo the sewage plant.
In Arbuckle?
In Arbuckle, okay. Because it's something about the
Have you
rates.
read about this, honey? This is right up his league here. So I was hoping that he would have some information.
It had to do something with the price of our water and sewer is so darn low that.
Right. And could you imagine if they just hiked us up that quick? I mean,
yeah, that was the thing. They're like, we could, but since we are kind of a small district, they were given a leeway or something, some extra time or something. So.
And as we're talking about the wastewater treatment, I saw in the paper, because I'm very, I read the paper today.
You saw the classified?
Since it came in today, that Arbuckle Public Utility District wastewater operator. Now, after all of that, you could have just purchased the paper and read it yourself.
Yes, you could. That's why we don't have her reading the paper all the time.
But I also like to point out that you only need a water 1 and wastewater 1. And you only have to get those within 2 years. Super easy. What are you waiting for? And I'm not even joking. My husband's a pooper scooper over here, so I know that's nothing.
I know he'll have to come on and talk about some of his experiences.
It's very interesting. You should come and take a tour.
I toured the one in Williams right after it went in. That one was very interesting. It was kind of neat. My favorite part about that, because, they had some fancy dancy laser cleaning disinfection system or whatever. And
the UV light, you mean?
Yeah. The water, the water that it comes out of it is cleaner than the water that's coming in from the water tower.
Right.
And everything and whatnot. And there was a little spigot. And
you could drink it, yes.
The guy goes and grabs the spigot, fills up the cup, and takes a drink. And was like, would anybody else? And we're like, and everybody's like, oh, God, you're disgusting. What the heck? And then after it was all done, they finished it, because then they showed us where the pulp of the water, the stuff that they can't mash down or whatever, that goes to the dump. They showed us that little thing, or the needles, or whatever else you're not supposed to stick in.
Grit and rag removal.
I think that's supposed to, yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to comment on that. Go ahead.
Exactly what you're thinking. And so.
The muffin muncher. That was the name of the machine they had there. It literally was the name of the machine.
And then they all finished up, and then we all went over to this little shed off to the side where they had posters and information and everything. And it was like, oh, and by the way, there's donuts and coffee available. And no one ate donuts or coffee. I
cannot imagine that they would.
Well, could you imagine, get done drinking the coffee, and then all of a sudden they go, oh, by the way, remember when you wouldn't drink that water? You just did.
There it is. They couldn't legally do that.
No, they couldn't.
That's all right. We won't go
But
there
when you're in
because
facilities like that, it's kind of like,
it's the whole thought. It's just the thought behind it.
And who's not to say the spigot he went up to was just a regular clean water spigot and it's just all for show, you know?
You never know. I don't know what they do in Williams. I don't know. Maybe my husband drinks it in Woodland. I don't know.
I
don't want to
love
know.
the photo that we took because obviously you can't shut down a plant like that in the middle of the day so that they can pretend to turn it on. So the whole turning on, it was like, okay, we're going to turn this on. Well, this switch doesn't work. It's not hooked up to anything yet. So that's the switch you're going to turn
right.
on.
Let me just do that here.
It was funny, but yeah.
It's very interesting. It's a whole nother world that you don't really think about, but all of into the wastewater, all of the dirty water goes there. Every dirty water, doesn't matter where it comes from. It all goes there.
In some cities, I think it's a little bit different because like in Calusa, some of the storm drain water goes into the river because it's actually
Shane is shaking his head.
It's not all of them, but I think it's just here in downtown because all the storm drains, it actually has little stamps on it that says do not put trash down the drain or whatever because this goes into the river and whatnot. And some places will even fine you if you're pouring something into the gutter.
No oil.
So yeah. Oh no oil.
Mm-mm.
No oil. Period.
Don't put that down your drain either in your kitchen, like kitchen grease. No, don't do it. It's not a good idea.
There's a lot of stuff that you shouldn't be flushing. And
what are you drinking over there, Lloyd?
Why does everybody? It's liquid death. It's sparkling water. It's nothing. Kim thought it was an energy drink.
Well, it does look like an energy drink or an alcoholic beverage of some sort. It is kind of in one of those fancy cans.
See, it's supposed to be better for the environment because it's aluminum, not plastic.
It's what?
Aluminum.
Aluminum.
Aluminum. Aluminium.
Does it have cinnamon in it?
Cinnamon.
But it has this very cool skull there on it.
Yeah, it's a cool skull. It's actually pretty good. I drink the sparkling. They have plain water, which I'm like, why would I want to drink plain water in a can? I'll get the sparkling. So
yeah, it seems a little weird to have I guess it's like boxed water, but and the can
it helps
is so cool.
Getting off of the soda kick. That's one of the reasons why I switched to. Because when it's a can, you kind of hold it and it's sparkling, so it's not so much.
Same feeling that.
And you can put your own flavorings in there, which I've done. I put some, what is that called? The like Mio things or whatever sometimes. And
the water flavoring stuff, whatever
Crystal
it is.
Light
Crystal
or whatever.
Light and things. Yeah.
So,
or your energy shot.
Energy shots or whatever you want to put in there. So coming up, let's see. I don't know what events do we have going on. It's hard to believe that
we're midway through July.
Yeah, right. This half month over. Well, yeah, it is the 15th. Jeez. Let's see. Coming up on Monday, July 19th, the Calusa Youth Shooting Club will be having a carnitas dinner there at Butte Slough House on Butte Slough Road. Say that 5 times. Carnitas dinner includes beans, tortillas, and a dessert. No host bar. Tickets are $10 per person. You can get it to go or eat there. Let's see what else we got going on. I know the farmers markets are still going on. And then on Saturday, July 24th, the annual Pennies from Heaven event will be held at the Grimes Community Church.
Oh, I love that.
So it's a rummage sale. Everything's a penny or more. It's donation only. There's lots of goodies you can find, or if you yourself have some stuff to get rid of, you can call the pastor there at 530-632-4592 and he'll arrange a drop off or pickup.
Good to know. I'm sure that I have something.
Well, it's kind of a cool event. I mean, especially they have a load of clothes and stuff, so people who are down on their luck, if they just got a few pennies on them, they can get a whole bunch of stuff. And
right, and I've been there many a times when I first I had little kids and I couldn't really afford it. And I just gave what I had and it was perfectly fine.
It's kind of a cool little event. So head on out to the Grimes Community Church. And
yeah, it's great. It's great. What about this Harley Davidson? You guys were talking about that in the raffle.
Veterans. Yeah, the veterans are raffling off a Harley Davidson. It is a very unique Harley Davidson. It's a prisoner of war, missing in action themed bike. It was owned by a former veteran. His wife, he passed away as Steve Corbin, passed away last year, and his wife donated to the veterans. Tickets are $100, and you could win this beautiful bike. And it's completely treasured. It's been well taken care of. And, even if you don't like motorcycles, maybe you could win the bike and turn around and turn it back and they can raffle it off again, or
that's a great
donate
idea.
it somewhere else or whatnot, or definitely a neat treasure. So purchase a ticket.
And they're limiting the tickets. So you've got a 1 in 400 chance, or however many tickets you purchase in 400 tickets. And there's pictures of the bike on the flyer, correct?
Yep. There's a flyer that's been posting around. You can find it one here at our office. And then if you want to go take a look at the bike in person, because I think they're not raffling it off until Memorial Day, which is in November. Is that correct?
November 11th, it says.
But if you go to the Veterans Barbecue on July 31st, you can actually see the bike. They're going to have it there, so you can check it out if you're a real bike person, want to see what the engine and all that fun stuff is.
Even if you're not a real bike person, I feel like this would be super interesting.
Oh, it really is. It's really cool. And plus,
such history.
And if you're not interested in the bike, go to the Veterans Barbecue, July 31st. I think it's 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. They have a rib lunch. It's, I think, $10 a person, so you can enjoy a lunch. They usually have some raffle prizes. That is July 31st. They're at the Veterans Memorial Park here in Colusa.
Yes, there it is. Oh, $15 for lunch.
$15. I'm so sorry.
11
$15.
to 3.
I forgot. They raised their price because, everything went up. And it's a good lunch, and come out and see all the veterans and hang out and win some cool prizes.
Oh, they have prizes?
Oh, yeah, they have raffle prizes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What type of prizes do you know?
Oh, toolkits. They had a barbecue one year, Yeti stuff. So like a Yeti cooler, Yeti cups.
Maybe you should donate your Yeti right there.
No, he can't go.
I really like
Haley's
him.
Yeti.
Remember she really wanted the big one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Haley.
Sometimes
he's cute.
They have one of the tire places you donate maybe 4 tires or 2 tires. Oil changes. There's all kinds of stuff. One of the places that does detailing usually does a car detail. There's all kinds of unique prizes.
That.
So yeah, coming out July 31st.
I better set a reminder that I will clearly forget about. So Lloyd, please remind me.
I will try. Well, it's almost time for us to call it goodbye.
We say goodbye for the summer. How does that go?
I have no idea. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and take off. Thank you all for listening. Hope you like this different episode. I had to provide something for you. This upcoming week, we're going to have a Just Press with me and Susan and talk about some of the things that are going on in the area. And then we have the Bookworms podcast will also come out next week, where we have Cindy Poncelino talk about her service as a volunteer with the Friends of the Library and talk a little bit about the Bookworm. So we're going to have that coming up. And then, of course, What's in That Yetis next week. So until then.
It's that time again already.
It is. See you in the next one.
Bye. Bye.
Because now it's time to go.
Goodbye, friend.
Happy trails. I say, well, that's okay.
Bye,
Goodbye, goodbye, good friends. Goodbye. And tomorrow.
Don't forget to ride. Farewell. Bye for you.
Thanks for listening to the Backpage Podcast. Like what we do? Share us on Facebook, Instagram, and tell all your friends to tune in. And don't forget to visit our website and show us some love at RadioCalusa.com.